Okay, so this is the last video for tonight because it's like, geez, 1 o'clock a.m., 1:04 actually. So, and again, I still consider this a Tuesday. It's actually Wednesday. But, my brother has about 50-some thousand miles on his car, and he only bought it with 30. And who the heck puts, what is it, like 20-some thousand in a couple months? Well, he does actually. His front end, it's his alignment for his car. I think it's to the right side. Fleet Farm is charging him roughly estimated $1,500 to fix that. I don't know if that's true or if it's actually going to cost him that. You look around. You look at Paul Bush, you look at Tony, you look at any dealership or mechanic out there to see roughly how much that is going to cost. I said, Ben, sorry, this will suck for you. If you don't have that car fixed by the time I get my car, I ain't gonna pay for it. Because basically, that's my car too, but I can't drive it without his permission. I said, pay for it. So let's say, I basically pay for half the car for the maintenance and stuff because it's basically my job. And he doesn't have a job, so I'm basically hiring him to drive me around, And I fired him once, but a couple days later he wanted to get back on the route. So I said, whatever, you're my brother. So he's back on the route and putting more miles on it and spending more things about it. But I said, if you don't get that thing fixed, and I get my own car, you're paying for the whole 1,500 or whatever, because it ain't my car anymore. I can't drive it. You're not going to be using it for my job. I'll be using my car or whatever, different vehicle. And the minivan here is older, has 160, like 4-some thousand miles, rusty piece of crap. Excuse me. And the last thing that broke on it was a wheel bearing. I think it was a wheel bearing. It was I'd say passenger side. It was in the winter, because I was still dating Kayla back then, and we picked up the car because he was getting new tires on it. Picked up the van and Tony up here in Marathon, and he said, unsafe to drive. Why? I think he said wheel bearing. Oh, sorry, tie rod. It was the tie rod, not wheel bearing. So the tie rod was bad. And basically Dad took it apart after like almost a whole month of not fixing it. Took it apart and he put it on himself. He just got the part from like Tony or whatever. That was basically the last thing that went wrong with that van. And I was still dating Kayla back then, so it would have been almost a year. I think it would have been in January. A couple days, yeah, I think it was December or January, one of those 2 months. So, that's the last thing that majorly went bad. Other than oil changes, and clocking the miles. It's like you can depend on your Ford minivan, Windstar SE, than your Cavalier. Why? Well, the Cavalier sat a lot because she barely drove it. Maybe that's why a few things are going wrong with it. But now there is another thing that's wrong with the Ford minivan here. The RPM gauges, the cluster, that's all whacked. You could fix it by the little tap of your finger, but sometimes you gotta really smack it. Like whack, like 600 times, and then it'll fix back up, and... But, yeah, and it's got the 3.1 in it, and it's a good motor, 160-some thousand. I think I remember I got my permit, and it had like, I'll have to go back on that video and check. It was like 130 some. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what the miles were back then. I can look on the video I made about it. So, but from then until now, that's a lot of miles we've put on. Mostly paper route, because, I had my permit, and I'm like, okay, why can't I drive on the paper route? Why do I always have to drive in town? I said, Ben, you let me drive your car. No. So, I said, Dad, this is not fair. I'm not just paying him to drive me around and put it in a box. I want to drive too. So we made a deal. 1, maybe 2 times a week, it depends what's wrong, drive the minivan. Spend $30 only, well, roughly $30. Last time I only put 15 in because Dad had over half a tank and we had to get him a few times and he paid for gas sometimes and, because we helped him and stuff. But we only drive it once, maybe 2 times a week. And nothing is wrong with this van. I would recommend a minivan like this age. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of miles on it and rust and stuff, but it's a good van. It's roomy, it's comfy. It smells like rotten eggs and milk because my dad puts milk in it all the time. That's one thing my girlfriend doesn't like, is riding in the van because it smells all the time. It's just bleh. And I'm taking my test, and I don't think the instructor, he'd probably look at the van and not even get in it. Why? Well, look at it. It's a ticking noise, cracked, rust like hell, dent, smells, the gauges are screwy, there's this little screw in the heating sensor thing there. There's no way he'd pass me, especially driving with this thing. No. The most thing that's very important is that windshield. I said right when I got my permit, there's no way I'm driving that Ford Mini Windstar, I've been driving it for the last 6 months because I got my permit in January and I started YouTube in February. So the last 6 months I've been driving that thing, and I said, no way am I driving that van. I can't use Ben's. Grandma ain't gonna let me always use her car, so I'd have to use the minivan. Dad doesn't care if we take it. Just put gas in it and tell him that we're taking it. But that's it. But, I totally forgot what I was talking about before. See? My mind likes to just rumble and talk about stuff that I've already talked about in my other videos, but it's whatever. That's weird. My thing says 1:04 a.m. and it said that like 8 minutes ago. I bet when I click this end and then restart, it'll say like 1:08 or 1:09. That's weird. But it's 11/9/2013. And I'm going to bed because I am tired. And my father gets up in like 2-3 hours, goes to work, and he'll say, "What are you doing up?" "Oh, I can't sleep." So, there's no one up anyway at 1 o'clock, except dogs. Yeah. Shut up. Sheesh. But, yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, just shoot me an email or a comment or make a video about it. Whatever. And most of the people that probably watch it probably don't even have a YouTube account. They just come across this, let's say, let's type up Honda Shadow Part 1. Oh, Honda Shadow Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and go on and go on. Excuse me. And then they quit, and then they're like, okay, well, let's see what else you got now. See other stuff. Like I said, Most of my videos are trying to be like cold start update type things. Well, most of them are updates. Why? It's not cold. You know? My four-wheeler has been sitting here. It actually has not ran since the last video. Well, way before that video I made of taking the carburetor off. Way before that. It's been a good, 3-4 months now? And it has not ran at all. Period. And it's sitting in this same spot. I moved it once or twice, but it's back in the same goddamn spot. And it's been roughly almost 2 months. Yeah. So 2 months without that thing running. And that's going to be a major cold start. Especially if I get the thing running right. You know, because I got to switch some jets and stuff about it. And I might just screw it all up. Make it a lot worse and it won't run at all. But the four-wheeler is for sale. For right now, it's probably sitting at $1,000. Non-running. So that's one thing I hate about when you have little kids and they put Kool-Aid in it and then you clean all the Kool-Aids and now you have to do something else with the jets. Yeah. And Ben's four-wheeler is perfectly fine. Just a dead battery. He finally found his key. He never drives the thing. You might as well just sell it. He always needs money. You know, he says, I don't have any money for this or that. Sell the four-wheeler. I mean, come on, Ben. Think. I'm selling my stuff. Well, I need a car, though. So, that's why I'm selling it. He needs money. Sell his four-wheeler. So, yeah. I'm not going to sell the boat. Because it'd be the 20. I think it's the 21st and the 22nd because I take it on the 23rd. So the 21st and the 22nd, which is a Saturday and Sunday, I am going to a sandbar with my brother and my girlfriend and possibly Logan, my friend. Why? Well, we planned this like the beginning of summer. Going out, somewhere in June we planned this out. We said, right when they start selling fireworks, we're going to go out into a sandbar, because I haven't shot off fireworks in 2-some years. I haven't been on a boat in like 2 years. Boat's been just sitting here, collecting dust and weeds around it. So, we agreed, let's go to a sandbar and have some fun. Not that kind of fun, people, okay? Fun meaning shoot off fireworks and spend a night, not sex. Because people usually think about sex. And that's sad. So, we haven't done that yet, and here it is, September. Getting a little cold at night. But we finally made a date about it, and stuff like that. Kayla got those 2 days off. Me and Ben can get the days off. We'll just work in the morning, and we'll go out when we get home. But the problem is Logan. Logan has 2 weeks to tell her boss that I need those 2 days off, and she does not get those days off, or she does not tell her boss, we're not waiting for her. So if she doesn't say, boss, I need these 2 weeks in advance to get these 2 days off, and she does not say it, and she says, oh, I forgot. Can we do it another week? No. We're not doing that, because it's going to get colder and colder and colder, and Kayla might not get another week off for another month. You know, those 2 days, which is a Saturday and Sunday. She usually gets weekdays off. So if Logan's not ready by then, we're leaving without her. It'll be just the 3 of us, me, Kayla, and Ben. We finally got the boat insured. Basically, my father paid for it, and I probably mentioned it before. So, and my sticker for the four-wheelers, both four-wheelers actually, still says 2012. It has not left the yard. Well, mine hasn't actually. But I took Ben's to Grandma's, which is, across one little tiny ass road. So, What are they gonna do? Give me a ticket? And I see four-wheelers and side-by-sides on the road, and some of them don't even have license plates. Or even blinkers. You're supposed to have turn signals. If not, use your goddamn hands. And people don't even use their hands. I see one guy, he lives over by BP, actually, just across the street, right next to the liquor store as well. He has a Can-Am side-by-side, and that has a license plate. Not says Minnesota, it's just a license plate of, like your Department of Natural Resources type license plate like I have on my four-wheeler. And he has turn signals built into the Can-Am. He takes it right on the road, basically right down, like Pembroke there. Perfectly fine. Why? 'Cause they're legal, and they have turn signals. Me? No. I'm selling the thing. Why? Well, you know why. I need a car. So, I'm gonna head inside now and go to bed. So, this video will probably be up, tomorrow, which is today, which is Wednesday. If not Wednesday, Thursday. If not Thursday, it will be Friday. So thanks again. Take care.